Project I was working on recently was building up the backend of a menu service module for a restaurant web app. Every restaurant has its own menu, which returns a list of meals served at the restaurant, categorized by meal type, such as breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and meal category, such as appetizers and entrees. So in order to meet the optimization goals of this project, I wanted to scale my service to handle at least 1,000 requests per second. It was very important to choose an appropriate database to store my data. So I ended up doing a few tests between Postgres and Cassandra, a NoSQL database, and ended up going with Postgres for the factors that were important to my module. So I'll go a bit into those reasons. Firstly, when designing my schema, Postgres allows me to create joins between multiple tables, and that ultimately allows me to filter on multiple constraints. So in Postgres, I can designate my primary key and a secondary index that allows for very fast filtering and also the usage of foreign keys. So instead of having to create a materialized view in Cassandra, I can do this all in one query. And Postgres has a much faster read time. It was 20 times faster than Cassandra. So Cassandra was performing around 9 to 20 milliseconds, and Postgres was performing around 3 or 5 milliseconds. And this read speed actually increases if this was a popular restaurant and I was making multiple requests to return the data for this restaurant, because Postgres does query caching, so it's even faster in those cases. And for testing out the write time, they were pretty equal. And when thinking about scaling my database, I'm able to use a master table in Postgres, and this allows me to have more immediate consistency, which is important for my module, the menu item, because say a user goes to a restaurant page and sees that there is a certain menu item on the, like lobster roll on the menu, and however a minute later the restaurant takes that item off and the customer goes to the restaurant, they will be very disappointed. So it creates a customer service issue for my module. So it's important for me to have that one source of truth. And however, this does lead to slower writing because you write to the master table. But since I am using Postgres, I can do that in isolation, updating the menu, updating one table without affecting or locking other tables. So it works out that way. And Postgres is also more disk space usage efficient, which is important since I want to maximize the available storage space that I have. And lastly, I'm able to also use pooling with Postgres, so that allows me to use existing connections to serve new client requests without creating more backend processes. So